mean, it's very much when we're in the studio, it's me and Sean work together, and we kind of produced this one definitely together. And then, because to be honest, Freedom Fields, he was taking the reins on that record. And I think Kitty J was me and him, but then Freedom Fields was more him.
So this is a co-production?
Yeah, this is about the two of us really, and I think it's
How does that work, co-production? How do you do co-production?
I think you don't decide before you go into the studio on that. I think you make a deal and a handshake as two gentlemen or two brothers fighting. At the end of it, no, you just you know by the end of a project,
yeah,
who should get what and because there were a few people who were interested in coming in and working on this project with us, but to be honest, you know, I'm too much of a control freak at the moment to let someone else come in. I think we needed to kind of make a stamp stylistically of who we are a bit more before someone comes in and not mucks around with that, improves it, you know, I'm sure. But that's why we did the record in Cornwall, because obviously this coastal-based record, it was important to keep it, recording it in that environment, right by the coast, near St Marion and near Bude, you know, in areas that we felt, you know, I could burn away and just try and get inspired a bit more about this, because it wouldn't have worked if we recorded this in London. I really like that with that dirty banjo that I was doing back in the day. I mean, that was recorded first, I think, that song, Paul Montana.
And what style of banjo playing is that?
It's just rough banjo. Just hitting the shit out of a 4-string banjo. Yeah, it's not very special. Yeah. But I think the dirty sound relates quite well to the lyrics, you see. Yeah, so the two kind of go quite well together. Because Ben was on at me loads going, oh, you've got to tune it up, you've got to tune it up. So. But it's quite nice out of tune, I quite like it like that. I like some sort of narrative and depth, you know, to a song. I've always liked that.
Yeah.
But I think that's just from a personal fascination of folk song and the way that oral communication, you know, of someone actually achieving something, or you're celebrating someone, or you know. So I think in that way, yeah. I mean, I do research, but I don't, you know, I don't.
You're not bound by the facts. You're not bound by that.
Bound by facts? No, I'm not. No, not necessarily. I mean, I am on certain songs like Solomon Brown, and you know, I guess songs like Crimson Dawn. You know, they're based upon a certain person or you know people. So, but generally, you know, I'm just fascinated by a good story, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
It's like a circle of stones down on Bobbin Moor.
Yeah.
And people say, it's like the legend goes, you know, young men who return to Stone playing the ancient game of hurling, which people say is just you chuck like this ball, and then two teams would run, and the first one to get it, you know, would win, and that would be the ancient game of hurling. I mean, how long ago that goes back to, I don't know, but I think what happened was they were in a circle and they were cursed for playing this game, because they used to play it on a Sunday without going to church. And so the devil or the priest would say, right, you're going to get cursed for this. And so they were cursed, struck down, and turned to stone. And that's the hurler stones. And they say if you stand in the middle of those stones and try and count them, they always add up to a different amount every time. To be honest, there's been a lot of influences from other areas, you know, musically, business, all over the place, but you know, it's been important to stick to this path, do you know what I mean, and stick to my own idea and my own sort of vision, and also include the boys in that as well, you know. So, you know, I think it's worked out for us, this record. It's not, you know, necessarily what people might expect, because it is quite heavy and it is quite dark. But I think it's definitely, you know, for the people who are into what we're doing, I think it hopefully ticks enough of the boxes for them to, you know, come out and see it live. Because I think hopefully if they do see it live, they'll understand it, and it'll, you know, it'll make more sense. When we were working with him really intensely and doing a lot of shows, it was a very different gig than what you're seeing now. I mean, obviously this is tailored now to the more poor man's heaven. But the real Kitty J, Freedom Field stuff with Cormac, yeah.
Yes.
He was, I mean, the setup he had with the cajon, your cymbal, and your tambourine on the floor, it was amazing. Like rhythms he would get a snare sound on the top of a cajon where you sat on this, obviously this box, you know, and then you get a whole sort of bass drum in the middle, and then you get a whole kit basically within this tiny little, jump on a plane into hand luggage.
Like,
setup, and it's amazing watching it. I mean, it's all about the guy at the front, what he does to it, and obviously it's all about Cormac. That is definitely tailor-made to him. But watching him do it and the way he came from this, I know he studied, he studied at university and all that sort of stuff. But really, he is a tunes boy. He's from traditional music, and you can hear that in the way he plays.
Yeah.
The thing about the difference between, say, Andy Tween, who's the drummer, and Cormac Byrne, is Andy Tween is a funk boy or jazz boy, and they stay on the beat. They're always on the beat. Whereas Cormac, or say myself, well, we work together really well, is because we always are pushing that beat, always ahead. And that's the urgency of tunes. That's why when you listen to folk tunes, they always sound like they're almost running away with themselves, which makes you more excited.